Meanwhile, away from the FA Cup, a good weekend for Barcelona, going to the Metropolitano and winning by 3-0. Barca devour a poor Atleti, says the front page of Marca. Meanwhile, Sport, performance to make you dream. I think they've given Real Madrid too much of a head start in La Liga. But what about the Champions League? Remember, they're on the very much the favourable side of the draw. They take on PSG in the quarterfinals, and then they will take on the winner of Atleti and Borussia Dortmund if they can get past the French champions. The final is another hurdle. But Robbo, overall, Barcelona are very much in the conversation to make it through to the final because of their form and because of this draw, aren't they?
Yeah, and form with not a full side, I would say. You know, when you've got Ford at left back and Kubasi, I think, will be in the side now. You're missing midfield players that could come back in time for the game. Like De Jong and Pedri, if they're fit to play, that makes Barcelona a much better side. You know, you've got Sergio Roberto, who's come in for his first game for ages. It's not a great side when you look at it on paper, but Lewandowski is now playing much better than he was earlier on in the season. Rafinha's starting to find a bit of form. Maybe João Felix could be a bit more consistent. So, yeah, they're a side that could go to the final, but they're still a side you're not quite sure about. You know, it's a great result against Atleti, an Atleti side that went to extra time against Inter, were probably very tired. Barcelona, yes, they've got a chance of getting through to the final. Over the course of the season, we've been disappointed with them and still are on certain occasions.
I think Christensen, I don't believe I'm saying this. I think Christensen going into midfield, and I know he didn't play in this game, has given them a little bit more defensive stability. I mean, that's how sort of bad it's got. And nothing away from Christensen, he's a centre-half. I'm probably counting in one hand how many times he'd played in midfield in his career. And now he's found himself playing the bulk of it recently for Barcelona because needs must, and they need some sort of protection in there. And that sort of helped. The one downside when you're looking at PSG, who are also not a great side, but they've got a lot of pace in the forward areas and the wide areas. Can Barcelona defence deal with that? Now, if you look back 4 or 5 games, defensively it's been better, right? There's been a lot less goals conceded because that period up until 4 or 5 weeks ago, you remember they'd lost...
It was the Villarreal game. That was kind of the catalyst, wasn't it?
Well, they'd lost 22 goals, I believe, in something like 5 games. Yeah. At one point. 5 or 6 games, there was 20 to 20 odd goals had been lost. I mean, it was 3 and 4 a game, home and away. There was no... They didn't discriminate. They were equally as bad defensively at home as they were away. And I agree with Robert. This young boy has come in. I think he's 16, Kubasi. He's done a great job. Yeah. I mean, to go back and play in the defence, where you really have to have a bit like Mario, a big physical presence back there, you can handle yourself. He's been able to go in and handle himself. He looks quite a strong young boy. And defensively, they've looked better. I'm not saying that they're great, but they've looked better, and that gives them a chance. My God, I can't believe we're sitting here talking about Barca, you know, comfortably going to make the top 4, which was...
Yeah, completely. Second now, looks like.
And finding a pathway to the Champions League final.
Yes.
Xavi's probably thinking, maybe I just went a little early on this. I'm leaving because things have just turned around a little bit for them.
Mind you, he's got a big call because in the big games when they're played against Real Madrid, he's played different people at right back to play up against Vinicius Junior. Against PSG, he's got the best player in the world, maybe one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world. Is he going to play at centre forward? Is he going to play at left wing? And that's when he swaps Koundé and Araujo over. And he's got a big decision who he picks to try and deal with Kylian Mbappe. That's a big choice for him.
Well, Araujo did a great job. Apart from one game on Vinicius, did a great job, Robbo. But Koundé, when he's gone to centre-half this season, when he's played centre-half, and he was the one that moaned about it, I want to play centre-half. He's been terrible at centre-half. Absolutely terrible. So, I mean, is he going to even risk putting him in there and changing it around? I'm not quite sure he is.